This is somewhat of a dilemma. This is the original position of the shifter, and you know, you throw the lever around back here and stuff happens up there. And well, probably the easiest option is just put a seat back here and have somebody ride back here and throw up a finger or two and tell them what gear to give me. I don't know who I'd find to ride back here though. The other option is a lot longer cables, but they'd have to go all the way around the back of the motor and then all the way around to the front of the shifter. Or you could try to find an MR2 shift linkage system. And while Celicas can commonly be found in salvage yards all over, MR2s are a little harder to do. So there's a third option.
And it seems like I'm not doing anything the easy way on this project anyway.
Or maybe that was a fourth. How many options are we at? Just that it all just has to move in harmony with the clutch and the throttle. How hard can it be? So if I put the shifter in the proper way, cables have to come out the front and then they'd have to go back around under through the motor and end up in the original location. But what if, with the shifter in backwards and the cables coming out the back instead of the front, the shift pattern is now upside down? But if you run the cables into the front of the shift linkage at the transmission, now you reverse the pattern at that end. So you end up with the same shift pattern and the short cables will reach the transmission. Now it's just a matter of building linkage to hold the cables. I'm going to hold this one right here, and this one I'm going to switch so that it's held right there.
This is where things in the engineering department started to go wrong.
On the original shifter, this was mounted to the transmission on this end, and this was mounted to the shift linkage on this end. What I'm going to do is turn it all around. This will be mounted with that pivot to the shift linkage, and this will be mounted with a pin over here. It'll still move the same way, just the cable will move a little bit instead of being completely stationary. So I'll have to make sure there's nothing to rub on the cable, and this only moves a couple inches back and forth. The original arm, this is going to be the part that the cable hooks into to reverse the linkage. The original arm will be cut off right about here, and then two pieces of sheet metal will be fabricated, bent to go around either side of this so this can pivot. There. This bushing will go on here, not on top of that. That bushing is going to get cut down a little bit. This bronze bushing will be turned down. It will go into the frame. This will pivot, allowing that cable a little bit of room to move around as the arm moves through its travel. What I have to do now is bend this that way, which is going to require me to take this brace support off the brace. So that I can get the shorter angle that I need. The upper assembly is the factory assembly. The lower one is modified. And after installation, I find out that more modifications need to be done. I'm going to have a word with my engineering department. While this reverses the direction that the shift cable is coming to the shift linkage from, it does not reverse the direction of the throw. So if the shift lever is moved to what originally would have been the left, all of this is an extremely long explanation of how I designed the linkage backwards. So what I ended up with is reverse being forward all the way to the right instead of forward to the left like it's supposed to be on the car, requiring a redesign of the shift linkage and firing my engineering department for total incompetence. Gotta blame it on somebody. Lengthens the rod and pushes this away from the original cable. The engineering department, get in here. We need to talk. Yes? You're looking for me? We can't be having things like this happening. This happens way too often. I'm afraid after a screw up like this, you're fired. Never did like this job anyway. Keep your job. No, wait a minute. Come back. You're not the best, but you're all I can afford. Yeah, we must go down to the employment office anyway. I'll stay. Refabricating the shift arm. It was originally straight, but now I've turned it to a 90-degree angle. There was a lot more steps involved than what I'm showing, but at least it works now. So I have the arm reversed. Now it's going to pull the right direction to go into reverse. So that reverse will be over and up, not over and up. What I need to do now is make a bracket for this end of it. And that bracket I'm going to attach to these 3 holes right here. And depending on how solid that looks when I get it done, if there's any flex in it, I may run a brace back to one of these bolts back here on the transmission. But I think it should be solid enough with just these 3 bolts. So what I'm going to do first is pick up my 3 holes like this. Just lay this up against here. Use a plastic hammer. Hold it real steady, hit it on all 3 of these, which I've already done, but hit it where all 3 holes are at, and that will give me my pattern of my bolt holes. So I can start that bracket, and then it'll be a simple matter of a angle bracket out to reach this.